All right. Welcome back to another interview on Hammering Down. I am being joined by a very, very special guest, someone who I have not been very shy about saying that he is one of my favorites on the team, a guy who hails from East Bloomfield, Michigan, stands 6'3". He may not be a tower in London, but he is the Big Ben Ofeimu. How you doing, man?
I'm good. How about you?
I'm doing all right, doing all right. Can't complain. So, season's been going. You've been here for about, I guess, what, 3 months now with the
Yeah,
team.
something
Uh,
like that.
so you're a man from Michigan, and somehow I just want to know, how did you get picked up by the Philadelphia Union? How did that go about you being from Michigan?
Yeah. So in Michigan, there's a club called Badar in their academy team. So I've been playing with them since I've been very young. So U14 year, we did really well, and they saw me and my friend at the showcase. So we went to trial at the academy, and yeah, so they just saw me at I guess academy game. So yeah.
So, what made you stand out back then? Were you just a massive human being back then as well, or were you just better than everybody else?
Yeah, I was always big my whole life. I played midfield back then. Yeah, I was always big.
See, it's always an interesting thing asking like just random growth spurts, because someone like Alex, he told me that he didn't hit his growth spurt till really late into high school, that he was a striker up until his senior year, and then he grew like
Wow,
7 inches.
wow. Now he's taller than me.
Yeah, could you imagine Alex Cronali being short? It's just a
Yeah,
strange thought.
that's true. I can't even imagine it.
Speaking of, I hope the Cronali family's doing all
Yeah,
right. Just want to throw that out there. So hopefully they're doing okay.
for
But
sure.
speaking of Alex and that entire back line, you guys have been absolute beasts this year. You coming from Philadelphia, which, Bethlehem still, and Philadelphia Union too. From what I've seen, you guys didn't play a whole lot of the three-man back line a whole lot, which is where whenever you played a whole lot of that here. Is
Yes.
that a hard transition, or is that just something that just kind of comes through training, or what?
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that hard of a transition. I mean, actually, sometimes it's a bit easier in ways because like there's always a lot of coverage. You have three center backs there, so you can take risks stepping into the midfield to maybe defend the ball or whatever the case is. So to be honest, it was a bit easier, and I like it. I like it a lot. It's fun.
So working with guys like Fanwell, like Alex, like Jake, like Thomas, like, I mean, that whole back line from you to Jake to Alex to Fanwell to anybody who steps in back there. I think Mikey might have stepped into the back line for a few minutes. I
Yeah,
mean, it's ridiculous how much talent there is on this back line, and yet all that gets talked about is the offensive threat that the Legion have. Is that something that you guys think about? Like, yo, we're beast back here too, or is it just keep the head down, keep another clean sheet and move on?
yeah. I think just got to keep your head down. I mean, defenders, they don't get the glory that much, and it coming into the job. So we just worry about doing our job and trying to help the team, but we don't think about it too much now.
I know this is kind of jumping over around a lot, but in this last match against FC Tulsa, you kind of had to come in last minute
Yeah.
after Thomas sustained an injury. Obviously, you had been warming up before that, but having to jump into a match as a sub when you weren't really prepared to, even though you are warmed up, what's your kind of thought process going into it? Is it just fill the gaps, or is it like, all right, let's do this?
Yeah, it's always different. I mean, in that situation, we were down one goal, so it's just like, let me try to create something, and let me try to, get something. As a defender, you can't really. I mean, you're not going to get much chances, So it's just let me try to get the ball up, and maybe someone can get onto it. So I wasn't really nervous. I would say it's just like just trying to fill in, do your best.
I know I'm talking about this back line, but you guys have just been absolutely insane. I
Yeah,
mean, a guy like even Jake, who is super talented, hasn't been getting as many minutes here as you would expect. But if he was somewhere else in the USL, he'd probably be their star center back.
Yeah,
Dude's a beast.
yeah.
Breaking into this back line, just is it kind of hard? Like, what are you showing in practice that's like, oh, we believe in him, or is it just kind of like, what is this more difficult than somewhere else you've been in the past?
Yeah, for me, I mean, it's very hard, like to break into the team. Roof, you know him more than me. You've seen him play last year. He's a great player, So even he doesn't get to play that often, but that just tells you how talented our backline is. It's tough, when your friends don't get to play and stuff. So, but he keeps his head down. He doesn't, soften practice. He's working hard, and I try to work hard. It's very competitive trainings. So, you just got to show a coach that you're ready to play. And if one player slips up or injury happens, you just have to be ready for it. So, it's really tough to get into the team for sure.
Is this the tallest back line you've played with in the USL?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, usually I'm the tallest on my team, but yeah, this is definitely the tallest back line for sure.
I mean, because you're 6'3", Fenwell's about the same size, right? And
Yeah,
then Alex just towers over everybody because it's not
yeah.
fair. I mean, that's
Yeah, I think MVO too. I think MVO is he taller than Alex, you think, or what?
I don't think so. MVO is really freaking tall, though. I don't think he's quite taller than Alex, but I mean, it just seems like everybody on the team is just massive except for poor Anderson.
Yeah. Yeah.
how how is Anderson behind closed doors? I mean, dude just always seems. I mean, you didn't get to see him last year, but
Yeah.
dude, last year studs up all the time. He was willing to run everybody over, might kill a man
Yeah.
during the game, but then afterward, just big old smile, just laughing all the time. Is that just
Yeah.
kind of him, or?
Yeah, that's him definitely. On the field, you don't want to mess with him. He's like has his game face on. He's really mean on the field, but off the field, he's so nice. He's been giving me advice. He's one of my closest friends, I would say, on the team. He's just a chill guy, Funny. He has his moments. He doesn't talk that often, but when he like says stuff, it's very funny. It makes the whole team laugh. So yeah, he's a cool guy.
He just seems like a kind of guy that you would invite to a family barbecue and just have him
Yeah,
just sit there for your friends to enjoy.
for sure, for sure.
So let's go back a couple years. I'm sure someone's told you, or maybe they haven't. I don't know. But, without you even realizing it, you were a very big part of Legion history. And the fact that you played in our first ever inaugural game and
Yeah,
you kept a clean sheet and ruined the party. Is that something that somebody told you when you came in, or was it something later on, or what?
yeah. When I first came in, Jay was like, "I remember you. Like, this was the first game of the season, and then coming to the stadium, it's like, wow." So, yeah, I remember that first game. It was a fun game because the stadium was packed as well. So it was a good atmosphere, and yeah, the team. I feel like the team has got a lot better, and every year, the team's growing. Just the brand is growing, so it's been good.
There's a few guys that are on that team that I think, now this is just going off the top of my head, that were there from that day. Mikey, MVO, Trevor. I think Zach might have been here at that point,
Yeah, I think Daigo was on the team as well. Yeah.
Daigo. Yeah. So did any of those guys come up to you that were like, you're a jerk, you're an awful friend. How did you do that to us? Or is everybody just kind of let it go?
Everyone lets it go. Yeah, I'm sure they don't care.
Yeah. I mean, what a first game that was. Obviously, we would have enjoyed the win, but I'm sure going back to back to Philadelphia, that was it was a nice little bus or flight, whatever you guys did for that.
Yeah.
So there's not a whole lot of people on the team that have this experience, but I'm just really intrigued because the USL, obviously MLS 3 or whatever it's going to be, is changing that. But when you get into the academy system, when you're with the Bethlehem still, and then just United 2 or Union 2, sorry, what is that experience like? Are you expecting just to go up, hop into the MLS? Do you know that you have to grind, or what's kind of the thought process as an academy guy?
Yeah. So basically, like you said, the steps. So Bethlehem, MLS team, the academy. So basically, my mindset going into the academy was just make it up the steps each year. Kind of don't get caught and just keep going up the steps. Like I started, what was it? U15 is when I first came, and then you try to go to U16s, and then maybe you try to get trainings with the U18s, and then you try to get trainings with the second team, and then you try to get trainings with the first team. So it's just you just put your head down and you grind and you take your opportunities. Sometimes they'll bring up kids from the academy to train with the first team, so you have to just be ready for. They'll just tell you that day, like, oh, okay, a player went down. We need a center back for this training session. So you really just got to be ready at all times and just really grind for sure.
They didn't get the respect they deserved at the time, but I think recently US soccer has picked up on the fact that the Union's academy is insane. Obviously, FC Dallas got all the hype because of all the people they sent over to Europe, but the Union has pumped out some talent and then they sell for a pretty big profit. Were there just guys that were sitting in the academy that you're like, man, you are a starter in the MLS somewhere else besides here?
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, for example, I don't know if you heard of Tomas Romero. He's the starting goalkeeper for LAFC, and they didn't want to sign him. It's like just shows you how much talent we have in the Union. Khalil, he starts for FC Dallas. There's a lot of players that are in other MLS teams. Joey Desart, he's plays for Orlando City. I can go on and on, but there's a lot of MLS players that came from the academy.
That must be just absolutely insane. I know there's a lot of players that fall out of the academy system that you kind of sit there and you're like, oh, maybe they came from blank academy, and that might not hold as much pedigree as someone coming out of the FC Dallas or the Union Academy, where it's like, oh, this guy's the real deal, especially since they held on to you for 4 years, saying obviously Legion, and now we're all seeing that you are the real deal. You're a guy. And it's just kind of insane that someone like you just didn't get picked up, while in other academies, you're probably already in the MLS somewhere, which, I mean, I hope you make it there, but I also want to keep you here as long as possible,
Thank you.
But you started for years. You've been a professional longer than the Legion have been a team. Well, maybe not a professional, but you've been playing with professional clubs. You didn't sign a professional contract till 19. But it's how strange is that for you to be playing with the Bethlehem still and playing the Legion when you're 17 years old? I mean, was it a lot of pressure, or was it kind of brought on to you like, hey, this is not a big deal, we're just developing, just go win games, develop yourself?
Yeah, for me, like, I believe I started actually getting games with the Bethlehem still when I was like just turning 18. And for me, it wasn't that much pressure because it was just like I felt there was no expectation. There was no like I would get into games. They're not expecting a clean sheet. They're not expecting me not to make mistakes. But I use it as motivation. They're like, I wouldn't say that they're. What do you say? They think I'm good, of course, but I'm like, okay, let me prove them wrong. Like, I can play at this level. I can get clean sheets at this level. So that's what I use as my motivation, and it was just fun. And the next year I signed, and I felt that year more pressure than my first year. For some reason, it's weird, but I felt like there's more expectations now that I've done this. So yeah.
I guess it's the moment that you like get the big boy contract, you started getting paid, and it's just like, man, I have to prove my worth now.
Exactly. Yeah.
So you signed that first contract after you had signed, verbally committed to Penn State. Obviously a lot of Legion fans have gotten to know your mom via Twitter, but how did that conversation go with her? And especially since I'm pretty sure she's an educator, I think that's what she told me. How did the conversation of just kidding, not going to college, sign a professional contract, did that take a lot of convincing, or was she just on board the whole time?
To be honest, it didn't take a lot of convincing. You would think it would, but she was very, like, for me. she just told me I had to get an education at least online. She was like, it's either you go pro and you go online or you don't go pro. So I go online right now. I go at Cleveland State. So as long as I'm getting an education, she didn't care. But it was tough because everyone wants to live the college life, be with their friends and stuff. And I had a lot of friends going there as well. So it's kind of tough decision, but I knew in my heart that I wanted to go pro now.
A guy that on your own squad just did the same thing, and Jaden Cervania, where he just signed his first professional contract and forego his college season. Was that something that you and him have talked about? Like here are my steps, or was it just something like, oh yeah, I did that too, you'll be okay?
Yeah, me and him talked about it, and we just talked about how, like, obviously you always have these thoughts like, oh, if I went to college, this, that. We talk about, like, why we chose to sign and stuff like that. So it was really good to relate to him. Coming a new person on the team, it's like, oh, I have a friend already because we've been through a lot of the same things. So yeah.
I mean, obviously, like we said, the Union were just loaded with talent, but
Yeah.
the amount of guys on the Legion who have been just absolute studs, been absolute beasts, the amount of international talent and the just international caps that guys get. I mean, Junior, Jaden, I think Daigo has a few minutes. Mikey was with the U.S. men's national team for a minute. Lots of guys who have gotten significant time. How does that hold up to the pedigree that you've had in the past with the Union?
Yeah, like what do you mean? Like players that I played with in the past?
Yeah, I mean, just the amount of players. I mean, there's a lot of guys who have some kind of professional experience. I mean, Zach Harville, I didn't even mention him.
Yeah.
Thomas have played international at the senior
Yes.
level. So many guys who have played compared to the Union and other stops, maybe even back when you were younger. Have you
Yeah.
played with that much international talent before?
No, I wouldn't say so. I can't. I mean, youth. There's a lot of youth national team players, but no senior players. I would say so that I was on the team with. But it's different. Senior level is different, of course. You have junior, Zach, Daigo, like you said, those guys. Even if it was they got called a long time ago, they still have that experience. And that means you're one of the best in the country. So they bring great level to the team and to training every day. I try to learn from them, and one day I hope to get called for the national team or the Nigerian national team someday. That's always been a dream of mine. So, hopefully it can happen.
So, if you don't mind me asking, what's the connection? Because obviously you're from the US,
Yeah.
but what's with the connection with Nigeria? How would that process go of being called up with them since you are from the US and you're playing in the US?
Yeah, I talked to when it was U20 World Cup. I was talking with their coach and things like that. I have a passport for Nigeria, so it would be easy. You just go to a camp, I'm sure, and they see your level, and maybe you can get called to a tournament or whatever. But yeah, I would love to. I would love to play for them someday. My dad's from Nigeria, so it'd be really cool.
Compared to your friends that you have in America, right? Growing up with a Nigerian father, how different was your household compared to everybody else?
Yeah, you would go to the friend's house and be like, this wouldn't fly, and like things like my dad, he was kind of the strict. My mom was more the person that's chill, and my dad was more the don't mess with me. But my dad's like, as I got older, me and him are like friends now. Before when I was younger, it was like this is, it's you're my son, and you don't do this, that. But now it's just like, we talk about soccer, talk about life, everything. But when I was younger, it was definitely he was more the discipline parent for sure.
I mean, this is just where my mind goes because, well, I'm a foodie. Did your dad make anything out of the norm, out of the American norm back at home, or was it pretty Americanized?
No, yeah, he made. I ate African food every day when I was younger. He's actually a chef, so he likes to cook. Um, he'd make very spicy foods, and it's like when I was young, I couldn't deal with it, but now I love it. But yeah, he makes some good dishes for sure.
See, that sounds so good to me because I love spicy food. Cannot get
Yeah,
enough of the stuff. I
yeah,
mean, how because I've never been outside the country before. So I don't really have the full experience of trying all the different kinds of foods. How does it differ from the US, the American food, if you will?
yeah, yeah. It's definitely different. It's just I would say African food. It can be very spicy. A lot of spices, like just tons of spices, rice dishes, different type of meats. I think that's a big thing as well in African dishes. Like I feel like Americans like chicken, beef. That's they think maybe like goat's nasty or like different like cow feet. My dad eat cow feet. Just every animal you can think of, it flies there. They don't care. So
Have have you and Bruno had a meal together? Because he was telling me whenever him and Bolu Akinyode lived together, Bolu full vegetarian, and Bruno wanted to eat all the meat he could find in the house, like anywhere. Have you guys chopped it up and had a full on dinner together? Because I feel like the Nigerian Brazilian meal
yeah,
can be awesome.
yeah, we need to for sure. I haven't had a meal with them. We need to go to a Brazilian steakhouse. Have you ever been?
I've never been to one. I heard Texas Day Brazil is absolutely fantastic, but I've never been. It's a little bit out of the way and a little pricey, but it
Yeah,
sounds fantastic.
yeah, it definitely is a bit pricey, but it's definitely worth it. Every meat you can think of, it's so good. So maybe I need to take Bruno to the Brazilian steakhouse or something like that.
I mean, have tell Jay to get the team card, take you guys
Yeah,
out. Yeah. So the Nigerian team, are those the best kits in the world? I mean, the Nigerian stuff they wore for the World
yeah,
Cup and all that, they're so nice.
I would say so. I'm a bit biased, but I would say yeah, best jerseys out right now for sure.
So, speaking of all the jersey stuff, that's one thing I really love about Birmingham is that how many different charity jerseys you guys wear. It's not just we're going to wear this alternate jersey, the Children's Harbor jersey. I love that idea of the drawn logos and, the gray Juneteenth one
Yeah.
was awesome. Coming to a team that is so embedded in the community that it's in, does it give you a different appreciation for a town that you're not from? Or is it just one of those things that it's like, yeah, this is just kind of what we do?
Yeah, it's very good. I mean, being part of the community, it's like it makes you feel more than just you're just playing soccer. Um, all those jerseys, the fireworks that we do. At first, I didn't know why we were doing the fireworks, and then people tell me about the hospital and stuff. It's just like, oh, this is very nice. It's not just we're playing soccer; we're trying to help the community and kids around. And with my in the union, I was with the second team, so they didn't do as much charity things because usually the first team would do that kind of stuff. So it's really fun to be part of the community. We sometimes I got called to train with just the kids and stuff like that. It's just fun.
Yeah, I mean, I know the Barons also do it every Friday night. They do fireworks for the
Yeah.
kids, which they're right across the street from the Children's Hospital. Have you been able to make it out to a baseball game, or is it just all during awful times?
No, I haven't been able to make it to a game yet. I should. I'm not a big baseball fan, but I definitely should go for sure.
It's definitely a different experience. I think it's been rated the second nicest minor league baseball park in America several years in a row. So that's pretty
Wow,
cool.
yeah,
Um,
it looks very beautiful from the outside.
it is really nice. And there's
Yeah,
the obviously you have another about a month to go, I guess. But in about a month, you can go across the street to Good People Brewing, and then go into the game and all
yeah,
that kind of stuff. But it's a good experience. That and if hopefully still around next year, or if you get a call up to MLS, congratulations. But they do a Rickwood Classic where they play in Rickwood Field. It's not too far from Legion Field where y'all played earlier this season, but it's
Yeah.
the oldest baseball park in America, older than
Wow.
Wrigley and stuff like that. And then they play at the one that's downtown, which at one point was the newest park in America, and going back to back to a place that's that old and historic where, the Black Barons of the Negro Leagues played. And it's just an
Yeah.
amazing thing. So I highly
I got
recommend that.
out.
But
Definitely check it out.
when just in general, I mean, whenever you get done with training, which you said before on social media that it gets hot here.
Sure.
What do you do? Just kind of cool off for the rest of the day? You just kind of chill out? Are you a video game guy? Like, what's up?
Yeah, after training, I'm a more of a TV guy. I, Me and my Roos, my actually my roommate. So we've been on FIFA pretty heavy. Um, we always play. We the seasons. Do you play FIFA at all? Or?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the seasons. We're in first division now. Um, we got there in like a week. We were grinding on it heavy. Um, yeah, the cool off. I just stay inside. Really, I don't go out too much after training. Sometimes I go for a walk around or run, but yeah, just chill and drink some water.
I it's it's always interesting hearing guys who play professional soccer. They're like, "Oh yeah, we play FIFA," and it's like, man, you just cannot get enough of this stuff. But
Yeah,
also, I'm insanely bad at FIFA, so hearing that you got that high up, I'm just super impressed. Because there was a thing, the EUSL something. It's just a big USL FIFA community, and I only won one game in the entire tournament, and it was like 15 games. I am so
uh,
insanely bad at FIFA, but I love the game. It's fun, but I suck.
yeah. It's one of those things. It's like it's very frustrating too, as well. And when you lose, like video games, to be honest, can make me more frustrated than like actually playing soccer. It's crazy.
Why? Is it just because like you don't feel like you fully control the characters, like you can control yourself, or what?
I don't know. It's just something like about the losing. Maybe it's something like playing your friends, losing to them. It's like it can low key kind of ruin your day. You're just God, I can't beat this guy, and I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's just sometimes video games make me very frustrated. That's why I don't play them too much, but I'll play them. Once in a
is
while. I go to spurts.
is Roof a big crap talk guy?
When he's playing the video game, we would talk crap online, uh, but not in person. No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who is there a guy on the team that chirps at that just on the team just absolutely gets under everybody's skin? Like who's that guy?
Um, Trevor, to be honest, when he saves shots, he'll give you something. Like if you try to chip him, for sure. If you try to chip him, he'll definitely tell you off. Or if he saves a shot, he'll definitely say something about it. Um, Talking trash, I don't know. I don't think more fun in games. It's not serious, but sometimes in practice it'll happen. But yeah, definitely Trevor, I would say for sure.
That does not shock me whatsoever. I've never seen someone take just warming up more seriously. I've ever seen him take it. I
Yeah,
I love Trevor so much. I've texted him a few times, and it's just dude is a different kind of energy. I can't
yeah,
tell if he's like always hyper or always calm, and I have no idea. But I love the guy.
yeah. He's a good guy for sure.
I I feel like I ask everybody this, but Daigo, what kind of experience is he to be around? Because my only experience of being around, like not really being around him, but experiencing him in the wild per se. I was
Mhm.
driving down Birmingham and I passed him. His window was down and his hair was flowing, music was cranked out, and I was like, this is Daigo's world, and we are really just living in it. Is that kind of the way it is everywhere?
Yeah, I mean, Daigo's just a smooth dude. Like, he comes into practice with his glasses. He's chill. you think like he doesn't care the way he acts. He's so smooth. He'll come into practice, drink a coffee, go train, and dink the keepers from half field. Like, you seem like he seems like he's not even trying, but he never loses the ball. His touch is so clean. It's just like everything's, you know, yeah, he's just living his own road, playing how he wants to play.
Are you a big coffee guy?
Not big, but I've been getting into it. I would say I have a cup in the morning or so. Yeah.
How do you
How about
take
you?
it?
I like sweet coffee, like cappuccino. I'm not too experienced yet, so I haven't, But how about you?
Man, I love coffee. It puts me to sleep. I drink coffee and I get tired. It has
Really?
the opposite effect on me, but I
Wow.
cannot get enough of this stuff. I just love the way it tastes. And I've started getting into the whole latte thing. I usually just drink black coffee, but I've been venturing out into it. It's different for sure.
I like latte. I like a latte from Starbucks or something. Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah, I like that stuff. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, my Keurig machine right beside me, it gets more use than anything in my room, and that includes my computer, which my professors probably don't like that I said that, but it's true.
Yeah. I need to get one. I need to get one. They're so easy.
Yeah, the one thing is that the coffee just doesn't taste as good, but it is so easy.
Yeah.
There are little pre-made cappuccino things where you can just put the little like froth thing in the bottom.
Yeah.
It's a powder, and then you just pour the coffee in there, and it just makes a cappuccino. I'm glad there's scientists that are specifically doing their life in making cappuccinos for Keurigs, but it tastes good, so it's fine. uh, so like we talked a bit about just practice and stuff like that. Obviously Trev trash talks and Daigo is about as smooth as it comes. But whenever you're going in training, is there a guy who's on the offensive threat? Because like we said, the offense gets a lot of hype, because they're all so talented. Is there
Yeah.
a guy on the team that you're like, oh, this guy's like different, or are they all just really, really good in different ways, each one?
Yeah. Everyone's really different each way. You got Jaden. When you go against him in training, you're like, don't let him get onto his left foot. If he cuts onto his left foot, you know he's gonna finesse it in top corner. Nico, it's like don't give him space because he can pull the trigger really quick and shoot. Like you give him a little inch, and most people I feel like I can give them an inch and I'll recover, I'll block the shot. But him, he pulls the trigger pretty quick. Junior is just fast, very fast. So they all have different attributes to him. So it's really fun in training. It's really challenging and fun.
So, I mean, Jaden is a guy that I feel like doesn't get enough love, especially around the Birmingham area. I mean, he's a Birmingham guy. He's
Yeah,
playing at the international level, and dude's a stud.
yeah,
But I mean, he always just looks so he looks so smooth when he's running. I don't know if it's because of his hair or what, but he always just looks like it's so effortless for him.
yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I mean, he's kind of one of those chill guys too. He's like when you just talk to him, he's always relaxed, chill guy, on and off the field. Seems like he sometimes he seems like he doesn't even care, but he's just like that's just the way it is, nonchalant.
There's a few guys that are just people kind of wonder about them because obviously I'm not in the locker room. We just see what they are on the field and sometimes
Yeah,
impressors later. You know, guys like Junior coming from so many different teams and Golden Boots and Jamaican national team. Just kind of what is he kind of like? Because on the field, I mean, dude will do some sick spin move, mega guy, and then just take a shot because he's faster than almost everybody on the field. And all the time, he just seems to have that same face of I meant to do that. I'm a beast.
yeah,
Is he kind of that quiet and calm guy all the time, or is it?
yeah. I mean, he's actually pretty like he has his moments where he's quiet, but he's actually pretty big jokester on our team. I would say he's up there top 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 three jokesters on the team. He's very loud in the locker room. Him and Nico, they're like little like they go off each other. You know how like best friends, they'll make fun of this person and they'll like laugh. You know, that person's always gonna laugh. So that's how they are. They always make jokes and he's very fun to be around. Yeah.
I mean, two guys. I mean, obviously both Jamaican
Yeah.
guys, and Juan Nico isn't playing for the Jamaican national team. I don't know, dude. Absolutely deserves it, but I can only imagine just the chemistry those guys have.
Yeah. On and off the field, they're best friends, and you know, when they play together, it's very dangerous as well.
So right now, if you were to call them both up, we're doing, let's say a halfway line to inline sprint. Who do you got, Junior or Johnny?
I would say Johnny. I would say Johnny for sure. I think Johnny's just his start is very fast, and when he gets going, like you can't catch him. I would say yeah. I would say Johnny for sure.
I mean, it's kind of insane watching him go because he doesn't do it in short bursts. I feel like all he does is run.
Yeah. Yeah.
And unlike I'm not trying to roast the man. He is obviously so talented, but unlike Jaden, every time he runs, he looks like he is working so hard.
Yeah.
Every time he runs, it just looks like it is the most stressful thing he's done in his life. But then he does it all 90 minutes. So I guess it's not that bad, but
Yeah. He's like you when he plays, you would think he's the meanest person on earth. You see that? You see his eyes, and it just seems like no one's gonna stop me type of face, you know. But off the field, he's just super nice as well. So, but yeah, he's very fast and he's very fit. Every time after games, they put our numbers up for total distance. Always number one, top three, you know. So, yeah.
so coming like you said, they have the analytics stuff up for obviously coming from an academy system. I don't know what funding happens between MLS and USL
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff, but how is the analytics stuff implemented itself into the USL? Is it something that you guys utilize a lot, or is it just like we're going to go out and do our thing and not really worry about it?
Yeah. For us, the strength and conditioning coach, he really stresses it, especially during training. If you're not getting the right numbers, you know, he'll make you run extra after training. Um, at Union, we used it as well. Certain coaches will stress it more than others, but yeah, we use it as well. For me, I personally don't really look at it that much. I feel like if you're not running that much but you're playing well, then it doesn't matter to me. I feel like each game is different. You know, some games you're gonna have to run. Some games, as a center back, if you're not running much, maybe you're doing good because no one's getting behind you. So, you know, for me, it's just like play well and then look at the number second. You know.
What kind of, whenever you're looking at analytics, obviously the running and like the heart rate and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff's important. But when it comes to your game, what are you looking for? Is there something that you see in your game that you're just like, that's the most important thing to me, besides the clean sheets and stuff like that? But is there something that you're just like, I want to improve that? I want to be the best at that.
I would say passing. Uh, I feel like my passing is good, but I feel like my potential with passing can be a lot better. I feel confident on both sides of like I feel confident on my left foot as well. So if I would say I can improve one part of my game, make it really, really good, I would say definitely passing, you know, through the back and stuff. Yeah.
As a guy who cannot kick the ball in the air further than 10 feet, how do you even work on that? Because just even lofting the ball up to me just seems like it's such a, like, how in the world are they doing that? And it's not the fact that I haven't tried. I just don't understand. But for someone like you who obviously can do that, you are very talented at kicking a ball. But how is that something you practice? Is it like focusing on stationary targets, asking someone to go on a run and try to hit them? Like, what's up?
It's a bit of everything. I mean, for me, I think I got a lot better just consistently doing it. Like, say you have a brick wall, just getting the ball and just smacking the ball on the wall, you know, for like as long as you can, playing as much as you can. I feel like those natural skills you just develop. But when you get to a professional level, it's crazy. Like some players, like for instance, Daigo, when he hits a long ball, I'm standing 50 feet away, it's going to drop right on your feet. You know, like it's just that level of, I hope to get to that level someday where you consistently 10 balls, he's hitting 9, 8 balls perfectly to your feet. So it's just practice, I would say.
As this is something maybe you don't think about it, but it definitely I think about it. We said before you've been playing at a high level for like 4 years now, and
Yeah.
you're only 20 years old. Is this something that you have to remind yourself of as well? Like, yo, I'm only 20. I got time. I'm literally still developing. Or is it like I've been playing at a high level for 4 years? I need to be at blank point now. What's your mindset every day?
I guess it's a little bit of both. I mean, I'm only 20, so yeah, I have time to develop. And sometimes, you think of other people, and you're like, oh, this person's 20 and he's playing in Champions League or something, which is not good, but I think it's kind of healthy as well because it strives you to be, better. So I think a little bit of both. I think I have a lot of time to improve, but at the same time, I want to be the best I can be. And my dreams are to make them MLS to play for a national team. So I got to keep striving for those goals.
I mean, I'm 21 years old. Obviously, you're younger than me, but I will say I was a 7v7 adult league Golden Glove winner. I'm not just saying Matt Van Okel's never done that at 21 years old. So, I mean, we're striving for different things here, That's so interesting to hear though, because yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here at 21. There's people that listen to the podcast. They're like, I am 60 years old. Everybody on the team is younger than me. But
Yeah.
then here I am. I'm like, man, there are guys. I mean, you and Jaden and I mean, Jackson was around the team for a little bit, guys like that. It's like they are significantly younger than me. And I'm like, man, my chance at soccer career is done. It's it's so wild to think that you guys have been achieving for so much for so long.
Yeah. Hey, you never know. Hey, you won the trophy, the golden and the glove, so you should
Hey,
hop into training maybe someday, we'll see.
I mean, tell Matt and Trevor and Ford that I'm coming for them, just make sure they know.
I'll tell them tomorrow.
When you're in practice, whenever you're going through training, because like I said, you guys are a big team. You guys are all massive. The one massive guy we didn't mention, JJ. I
Yeah.
mean, going against a forward who can look you in the eye and is just built like a semi, you
Yeah.
know, how does your mindset change from going against him against going someone like Nico or Jaden?
Yeah. For me, it's different. Like JJ, it's like you get behind him and he'll pin you back and he'll spin you. It's like it's things like you have to defend differently on different players. So like Nico, I feel like I can get a bit more tighter because I feel stronger, so I can maybe push him back a bit. But JJ, it's like, oh, maybe I have to intercept this ball because I don't want it on his feet and he has to pin back. So you would think he plays football. Like his legs are huge. It's crazy.
Do you ever just look at guys like JJ and you're like, you could be making so much money as a linebacker right now, or what?
Wow, this guy can definitely be playing D1 football for sure.
What an absolute beast. And it must be just as annoying for you guys whenever he gets absolutely just murdered in the box and the refs don't
Yeah,
call. And it's just like, I get he's a big man, but dude, it's human.
yeah,
Like,
exactly. A foul's a foul. Like he's so big, which when he falls, people think, oh, he's just diving, but they're really fouls, So it's definitely hard for him because he's bigger.
so, just kind of go ahead, wrap this up pretty soon. Something I always want to ask is, what's something about you as a person or as a player or whatever? Is there a fun fact that you would like some fans to know? It's like, here's something interesting about me.
Something interesting about me. Let's think. Um, let's see. I'm a good rapper to be honest. I would say some people might not agree about it. For me, I think if I tried to be a rapper and like do some music, I feel like I could low key. I think I could blow up. To be honest.
Okay,
Uh,
I mean, you may not feel comfortable, but do you feel comfortable spitting some right now?
yeah. So let me see. Let me see. We are the Birmingham Legion. We going to lead Alabama. Yeah, slam a hammer, jam a camera. Yeah, slam dunk all the time because we are on the grind. That's just
Yes.
something off the top of my head, But imagine if I had time to write, how good that would
Hey,
be.
hey, I believe it. I believe it. I mean, I don't know if it was in this episode or before. I mean, talking about learning instruments, who needs to learn how to play music when you could just have people write your backing tracks and you just kind of go
Exactly.
hard on it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey, go ahead, get you like GarageBand, go hard on some stuff. I mean, I'm about it. I'm totally down with it.
I need to. I made some songs. I didn't put them out yet, but maybe I'll put them out sometime. We'll see.
Hey, listen, if you drop that SoundCloud, I hope whoever runs the PA system starts putting on blast at
Yeah.
BBVA. That'd be so sick.
Yeah, they didn't play it pregame. That'll get us everyone amped up.
I'm here for it. Well, is there anything else that you want to just kind of tell the fans like of the Legion, kind of about the season or like what goals are? Because obviously, massive game against Louisville coming up,
Yeah.
who they're insane. Is there anything that you want them to know?
Yeah, just that we're gonna fight. For we won a trophy. Every player in the locker room wants to win, and we're gonna fight for every point. This weekend we're gonna try to fight our hardest and get 3 points. And we have big aspirations. We really want to win a trophy this year. We feel like we have the talent to do it, and we just got to put in the work and you know keep winning. But yeah, we won a trophy for the fans and for us as well.
Hey, we're so glad you're on the team, man. Hope to see you get a lot more minutes. Hope you make it over to Nigeria. I know you can do it. You're an absolute beast, man. Keep up the good work, dude.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.